Welcome back to Retail Therapy on the Sunday Scaries podcast feed. My name is Will DeFries. Barrett Dudley. How's it going today?
It's going all right. I'm happy to be back. It feels, I don't know why, but it feels like just an interminable length of time between these podcast recordings.
I know, it needs to get closer.
I guess it's because we typically record and then the episode doesn't come out for another, several days typically. And then then the waiting game begins, and it's a long time.
We deserve a pat on the back for being relevant in a world
being relevant.
just
hard
just
stop.
For that, yeah, hard stop. That works. But also for recording podcasts on Tuesday that release on Sunday.
Yeah,
that there's a lot that can happen. There's a lot that can shift. Certain vibes might
shift in the span of 5 days. Let me tell you what.
It's difficult. I mean, it's been so long that I feel like the last time I talked to you, you were actually out on the Idol.
That it's yeah.
And now I just have so many questions for you.
I didn't do like a full 180, but I absolutely, the arc of me watching the show was, much like that of a boomerang, I would say, where I flew really far out on it. And then slowly but surely, I came right back in.
See, I'm the opposite of you. I'm the opposite of you, where I was in on it. And then my boomerang just kept on going.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, I don't like what's happened at the end of this show. I have several edits that I would have liked to make if I was in the writer's room.
Yeah. The last episode was weird. And man, it had a lot of it had a lot of poor scenes and a lot of stuff that did not totally add up or make a ton of sense. And
yeah.
It was it's definitely one of those ones where you the more you dissect it and the more you ask certain questions, the more you're like, yeah, that made no sense whatsoever. But I think at the end of the day, what I liked most was just that they had ambition to do something different.
I agree.
And they went for it.
I agree.
And it hit in some spots and it missed in others. I think one of the things that I bumped on earliest and hardest was the fact that The Weeknd, through the first 2.5 episodes, I would say, was the worst actor I've ever seen on an HBO television show, point blank, period. And then for whatever reason, either the way that the story shifted, or if they were shooting linearly, he grew into that character and felt comfortable in it. And as they started tearing him down a little bit more, and there was more of just like, this dude is a total hot mess, and not like this weird kind of juxtaposition between, well, he's this joke of a club owner, but also he's supposed to be like this sexy hard ass.
Yeah.
I started, and he started talking more about music, which, hey, shocker, is what The Weeknd knows authentically. As that all kind of came together, I was buying into his character more. And the show just started making more I started, those last couple episodes were more enjoyable because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you straightened me out a little bit there.
I mean, yeah,
I actually understand where you're coming from here with that. Overall, I thought it was an interesting watch. I'm glad I watched at least I'm glad it was only 5 episodes and it wasn't hard for me to watch all of.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. There were some scenes where I was like, man, probably didn't need the last 45 seconds of that sex scene, but that's just where we were. And I thought the acting overall was interesting. I thought the way it was shot was really fun to watch, and I thought the general aesthetic of the show was cool. But I was definitely kind of ready for it to be over by the time it was over.
Totally. Yeah, I agree with that. And I definitely don't think it needs to come back for a second season.
No.
It did not earn that.
No.
I do think it is a show that we will continue to reference.
I think so too.
Next
I think so too.
To 10 years,
especially if people watch it.
Yeah, kind of zeitgeisty reference point. Let me ask you this: what did you think of the music coming from the cadre of uncovered gem pop stars there?
Are you asking about I'm a freak? Yeah.
No, from outside of
so
Joss.
The soundtrack of the show.
What did you think of all the in Tedros's little his little harem of pop stars?
I thought it was pretty. I was pretty impressed.
Did you like Ramsey and Isaac?
Yeah, I did.
And Chloe's music.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
Yeah. I've heard mixed reviews on it. I was pretty taken with it. I thought it was pretty interesting and pretty.
I'm not trying to toss it on any playlists right now.
Yeah,
but I was impressed with the performance of them. I don't remember the names of some of the people, but the girl who was playing piano, I mean, she was was unbelievably talented.
Character name was Chloe. I believe that I believe her name is Savannah Sun, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. She clearly had a shitload of talent,
Well, I think in talking about the Idol, we'd be remiss to not talk about something super related to it and like normal transition here. How's your cottage cheese journey going, Barrett?
Beautiful segue.
Yeah.
That
I
was
figured if there was ever a time to talk about cottage cheese, it was while we were talking about the Idol.
That was very natural.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've been following me on social media at Barrett Dudley, then where I that's where I am on Instagram, and then my longtime favorite social media app, of course, Threads.
How's your Thread journey going?
It's going.
Do you think Threads has staying power?
So originally I was caught up in the hype, and I was like, yes, 100%. They need to make updates and changes fast, or they're gonna lose me.
I agree.
You can't search.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like a huge missing piece.
Mark Zuckerberg, if you're listening, I would really like you to make Threads stay.
Yeah.
As Scaries has had a really good run on Threads in the beginning stages of this.
I don't know how you've had time for anything else the way that you're getting you're getting off tweets on Threads.
I'm just putting up graphics from Instagram on the Threads and it's just working. And I had a good early move on it. I think having the Instagram following built in was helpful, but overall, I would like it if Zuckerberg could see Threads through because I think it's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, they need to, social media, it's a fast-paced environment. They gotta adapt. They got to be quick, head on a swivel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the store and I pulled up the article. I was looking through the brand names. I wanted to see if Central Market had any, and I was able to find Good Culture and Nancy's.
Okay.
And so
I'm glad you found both of these because since our last meeting, Barrett, I have also tried each of these.
Okay. So I grabbed a tub of each, tossed them in the cart, posted that on the gram in the stories. And I've not done a taste test yet.
Okay.
I'm going to do a plain taste test this week.
Okay.
But when I posted this, it set off a series of reactions from the followers out there, followers and friends alike. So I got a ton of comments, a ton of responses. One friend of the podcast said that those were bad brands.
So, dude, I'm not opposed to people saying that. I think it's all about what you're looking for.
And instead swears by Lucerne, which is more of like a heritage dairy brand, dairy company.
I think deep down, I'm not an cottage cheese guy. I think deep down, I'm your blue collar cottage cheese kind of guy. Yeah. I want it to look like it came from like a farm. I don't want it to look like it came from Erewhon.
Yeah. So many people probably the most frequent response I got that was Good Culture. That is it. That's the one. But I also got many people saying that Good Culture was not good.
So I think it just depends on what you're used to. Because Good Culture I tried it, and I'm not going to give too much intel here. I want you to be pretty new going into this.
Yeah.
It's a little different than my normal cottage cheese that I've eaten.
Okay.
That being said, I very much did enjoy it when I had it. I did enjoy Nancy's as well, but if I was going to have to go rebuy, gun to my head, someone's like, Will, go get the cottage cheese.
Yeah, what are you getting?
I think if I had to go with one of the cottage cheeses, I think I'm going Good Culture.
No, but what are you getting if you're going to you're living off of one brand of cottage cheese forever? Like, what are you getting?
I think Breakstones.
Okay.
I think Breakstones. I don't know anything about it, but when I'm at the store and that is the one that is offered up, I usually go for that one and I'm pretty happy with it.
Okay.
I want to say something about it, but I don't like how it's going to come out.
Well, now you have to say it.
It's a little moister. It's a little more moist. And so I apologize to anyone out there who just like swatted their AirPod like 30 feet from them, just not wanting to hear that word.
A little red label. I don't think I saw this.
Yeah, I like to hit him with that red label.
Okay.
Yeah.
This does look a little more traditional, a little more bed and breakfasty.
It might be your grandma's cottage cheese.
This might be your grandma's cottage cheese. So I'm going to do the taste test between Nancy's and Good Culture. The other thing that people were just came out of the woodwork to tell me, berate me really, if you will, is that I had goofed. I had effed up by not getting full fat.
Oh, I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
so I don't think you're wrong. I don't think they're wrong.
I went 2%, and that is because, let me tell you what, there was not a tub of full fat cottage cheese as far as the eye could see in Central Market, man. It was gone. It was straight gone. The labels were turned upside down which at Central Market means not happening, Brody.
No, not even in the back.
No,
you're done.
You're done.
That's tough. That's tough, man. They're coming for our cottage cheese. I don't love it.
And yes, and apparently
we're gonna have to pay like a farmer to like bring it to us.
Yeah. Farm to table cottage cheese. I mean, that sounds good. And because I'm usually a full fat guy. Like I like whole milk in my coffee. If I'm buying Greek yogurt, I generally prefer the full fat.
Okay.
Or the whole milk yogurt. And so no, there was none of that. And yes, that is apparently because if you're adopting the TikTok trend and you're doing the creamy and you are making the cottage cheese ice cream, which I've heard through the grapevine that you are in fact doing, you need the full fat.
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
So I think it's less of a big deal since I'm just going to be eating it plain or maybe with some fruit, or maybe I'll go savory. That was also mixed responses. A lot of people are eating this as more of like a dessert thing. A lot of people don't like a sweet cottage cheese. They're savory people. So that's on my head spinning on that front. But yeah, if you're doing the creamy, if you're doing the cottage cheese ice cream from TikTok, you need full fat.
You do. And I will also say that if you want a consistency that tastes like you're eating like genuine real ice cream, take that full fat cottage cheese and don't be afraid to put a little banana in there. And suddenly you're very confused as to what's going on. Sally has come up with a very good concoction when it comes to our cottage cheese ice cream. Okay. It is an amazing, amazing time to be in our household.
Yeah.
We're just feasting at all times.
What flavor creamy cottage cheese ice cream are you making?
The other day we added a little more banana to it, and then we just did something absolutely reckless. We took all any healthy part of what we were doing. We took all of that out. By taking freshly made banana bread and breaking it up and mixing it into our ice cream. It was some of the most decadent, tasty stuff I've ever had. I was so happy.
What is the point though now? Like you're just making a dessert. Just why don't you just make ice cream?
Just making my own ice cream now. Yeah, I might as well just start making ice cream. It's really pointless.
You can toss some banana bread in there. I
know.
The health benefits.
Yeah,
those have gone out the window.
Yeah, we aren't on the healthy side of the creamy users at this point. I think we're on the other side of the bell curve there. That's okay though.
Yeah. But yes, when I taste both of these, I am going to record. I'm going to put it on my IG stories. So if you want to see that, you can check me out at Barrett Dudley.
On Threads as well?
On Threads as well, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, before we really get into our topics today, of which there are many, don't forget to go follow us at RetailPod on Instagram, or retail.pod on Instagram, as well as Threads, actually. And you can also watch these episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/Sunday Scaries podcast. This will be in the description of this episode, so just go click around down there. But right now, let's hear from today's presenting sponsor, Mugsy. Mugsy makes the most comfortable jeans, chinos, and shorts and joggers ever. They're made from buttery soft, patented stretch materials that look stylish, but are just insanely comfortable. They're never too baggy, never too tight. And frankly, they're the best thing to happen to legs since chairs. Never in human history have legs been so spoiled by pure softness and comfort while looking so damn good. These guys have one mission in life, and it's to give the guys the confidence in life to walk into their closet blindly, reach out and just grab some stuff off their hangers and have them looking good and feeling even better. You will literally never have to shop anywhere else again. And they just dropped their Cool Max summer collection. It's Cool Max denim. It's like air conditioners for your legs. They spent years in the lab developing the most breathable jeans ever, designed with lightweight fibers to ensure a cool breeze with every single step. You can go from the backyard barbecue to the bar, all in one swift motion all summer long. If you want 10% off, head over to Mugsy and get that 10% off right now using code SCARIES. That's 10% off using some of the most premium jeans, chinos, swimwear, shorts, whatever you need on the internet. Mugsy also offers free shipping and returns, so there's absolutely no risk of giving them a try. If you're in Chicago, Boston, DC, or here in Austin, Texas with us, make sure to head downtown and check out their storefront as well. Easy vibes every time, and you can even enjoy a beer while you shop. It sounds like Taylor Swift might have been enjoying some beers lately. She's getting some flack for maybe being a little messy, maybe being in her goblin mode era.
Is she being totally feral?
She's being a little feral at the very least. So she's been spotted around everywhere pretty much lately in New York City. I feel like she's just there's just paparazzi photos every single day of her when she's not actually performing.
This took me weeks. We were in New York, as listeners may know, a couple of months ago now. And we basically overlapped trips with Taylor Swift.
We did.
Some people say that we were hanging out. I wouldn't go that far, but some people have said
we all went to the same restaurant.
So I wasn't really like thinking about it or putting the pieces of the puzzle together. But she's going. Her tour is ongoing.
Yeah,
but it's kind of broken up more than other tours are.
Yeah,
there are big gaps.
Yeah, large.
A week, 2 weeks, and in those gaps, she's back in New York City, recording Taylor Swift's version of whatever album is next. Basically, one of which just dropped last Friday. I guess.
Yeah.
And so that's what she is. She's in New York all the time because when she's not on tour, like you're saying, that's where she's back to. She's in New York.
I've been told by an acquaintance that it's a very nice tour to work on.
I can imagine.
Like, there's a friend of Sally's who is a backup dancer on the tour, and she said it's amazing because you can go home during the week, relax, do whatever, and then you fly to a new city, you do your thing, whatever, and it's just a much more low maintenance thing. You're not on the road, you're not sleeping with
constantly on the road,
sleeping on a bus. Like, you can go and sleep in your bed, and it does sound kind of nice. And I feel like she's obviously killing it this tour.
Yes,
but she's also got about $3,000 in tickets and penalties in New York City for her garbage outside of her place.
It's a funny number to think about with Taylor Swift, just because like I feel like if I was her, I would just like cut the city a check for like $50,000 and be like, get off my back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Never speak to me again.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Well, this says, per the Post, Swift has been ticketed 32 times for sidewalk trash and improperly disposing of other garbage since purchasing her $18 million Tribeca townhouse in 2017. The trash includes cigarette cartons, which possibly corroborates former Ticketmaster CEO and every single album Taylor Swift co-host Nathan Hubbard's recent theory that she has taken up smoking. They also note it's possible that Taylor herself is not responsible for the bulk of the trash and that neighbors told the paper that there are other dirtier buildings in the neighborhood, but the fact remains she's got $3,000 out there.
Yeah.
I kind of love the idea of
and actually rather than writing that $50,000 check, and just giving them the middle finger, she contested.
Love it.
She said, nah.
She's on her petty shit. She's on her. Yeah. She saw Gwyneth Paltrow sue for $1, and she was like, "That's gonna be me, but with the garbage people of New York City."
Well, I mean, we always kind of chuckle at these things like this, but like, rich people stay rich.
Yeah,
they're not just going around handing out $3,000 willy nilly.
Yeah, there's a reason that she's been criticized for her private jet usage. Like. Do you think she reads like the same articles we read that talk about how like the teens in Bushwick are smoking cigs now and stuff? And like, she's like, okay, I can start smoking cigs and not get like killed for this.
Yeah. I feel like she's probably trend aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having said that, I don't think that Taylor Swift has taken up smoking. And I'm personally, I'm committing myself to belief in that anti-theory. I'm opposing Nathan Hubbard here just because I don't want to believe it.
I mean, if there was, I would like to see photographic evidence before we just start slandering her name.
Right.
But
and that's the thing.
I also wouldn't hate if she was doing it.
You can't just take up smoking and then never get photographed smoking, because smoking generally has to happen outdoors in this day and age.
I've also heard it's addictive. And so you do it a lot.
Yeah. Yes. So it's not like she's just walking into her 18 million apartment and that's the only place that she's burning heaters.
Well, I have to admit that if you look at the cover of the Midnights album, it does look like she's lighting a cigarette.
Okay, let me pull. I got to pull this up.
Like the Midnights album straight up looks like she is just like getting ready to pop a cigarette in her mouth and just chief on that thing.
Okay. Yeah. Look, I'm going to go in a different direction because I actually think it makes more sense for a millennial such as Taylor, and also tracks a little bit more with her, like, her kind of steering into putting a little bit of edge on her, on her aura, right?
Uh-huh.
I think she's about to light up a joint.
Oh, what if she's about to light up? I don't know. Like a diptyque or something. What if she's about to trim that wick and light up a scented candle?
Lighting a candle with a Zippo would be absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. That's not the most convenient way to do it.
No, it is not.
Yeah, I could see her smoking a J.
Like, don't you think? I bet she's dabbling in a little marijuana.
I'm kind of surprised she doesn't have any like marijuana references in her songs.
Right.
She's got the cat eyes strong enough to kill a man. Is that the lyric? I don't know. But like, yeah, I'm kind of surprised she's never made I mean, she might have a lyric about smoking a joint that we don't realize. I wouldn't be surprised.
Like I just feel like she's just she just goes a little bit closer to like the, kind of Erewhon wellness clean girl thing. She's not that, but she's more that than she is like the Night Lux, like, blurry, always out till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right?
I think so. I think you're right. She seems more of a homebody to me at this point, but I also am just someone listening to her music.
Yeah.
So like it's hard to say. Not hanging out with her all the time. I am going to be boots on the ground this weekend in San Francisco to make sure that her ex John Mayer isn't getting after she pleaded for everyone not to verbally abuse him, and they did.
They did.
I'm going to make sure that he's okay this weekend.
Okay,
I'm going to see. I'm just going to see if he's just doing all right after all this.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm not going to support him because I don't want to get like booed out of the stadium by a bunch of Swifties. But
I don't think they're going to be. I don't think the stadium's going to be full of Swifties.
You don't think the Dead & Co show is going to be a bunch of Swifties in there just going crazy?
I think most people in that stadium will be Team John.
They're Swiftie prices. I'll tell you that much as someone who looked at recent ticket prices for these shows.
Wasn't it the last show ever?
Dude, the Sunday show, if you want a floor ticket, it's like $700.
Oh,
and that's just to go stand.
But the floor's the best.
Well, it depends. It depends. There's a lot of old people with back problems that go to these shows.
Okay, all right. So in this case, well now you've piqued my curiosity. Are floor seats cheaper than seats?
No, I don't think overall they are. I think maybe not the last night, but I think there's other scenarios for like Friday or Saturday where they might be. Okay. But it's still pretty crazy pricing overall.
Yeah, I mean,
just skyrocketing.
This is the world of concerts that we live in now. But like, floor for $700 for the last ever Dead & Co show with John Mayer leading the band actually sounds like very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
Based on things that I've seen, such as floor seats at the stupid fucking Moody Theater for Blink-182 or Phoenix and Beck, which is like $200 or $220 or $250.
I looked at Arctic Monkeys tickets and I was like, why are these?
That's not even sold out.
I don't even like know that. I don't know very many people that even listen to like Arctic Monkeys. And I'm like, how are these tickets so expensive in Austin? I feel like now that not that many people in this city seem like they want to go see this show.
No. That is evidenced by the fact that you can go straight to the website and buy tickets that are not from the resale market. They are just for sale.
It's crazy.
So I don't know what's happening there. And I mean, what's a floor seat for T-Swift going for right now? $5K?
Probably.
Something like that?
At least.
Insane?
Would you rather have a floor seat at Taylor Swift or a boat sold by Ame Leon Dor? Did you inquire about the pricing of the boat this week?
Well, I did not personally inquire, but I did see that others had made the inquiry.
Okay.
And that it was hovering around $500K.
Oh. Much more than I was anticipating for that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's near. So the picture was, let's pull up the boat here. The picture was a bit deceiving on the website because they make it look short in the product photography. Mm-hmm. But this boat is like 40 feet long.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't dip too much into it. It's a 38-footer.
Like, look at this thing.
This thing's kind of tight.
This looks like a little inflatable dinghy.
It does
right here.
It does.
But no, this is a 40-foot speedboat basically. And I'm taking the floor seats to Taylor Swift mostly because there is only one thing that this boat is good for, and it is going from Miami to Cuba. Because you know a place with good mojitos.
Yeah.
And you're a fiend for mojitos.
Yeah. This boat doesn't have a lot of utility for my life.
That's all you do on this boat. That's literally it. Like there's no other point of it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm out on this boat, and I will take the floor seats.
I was so confused when I opened up that email and just saw a boat sitting there. I was like, okay, that's what we're doing. We're selling boats.
We generally have a lot of time for this brand. This I think I can safely say, a week removed from it, is my least favorite ALD drop ever.
I saw them preview it on Instagram with a boat and like some classic rock playing. I forget what it was. I think it was like Welcome to the Jungle or something. And I remember I thought to myself, like, this is a really weird promotion for them. And then when I got the email and saw that they were actually selling the boat in the promotional clip, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like, okay.
Yeah, I've never like X'd out of an ALD, link to email like, oh, nope, I'm good.
I didn't even want to give myself like an inch because I would have taken a mile. Well, in a real pivot fashion here, because my pivots today have been so good in my transitions.
Yeah, I think you're on that segue game.
Yeah. I think it's time to talk girl dinners.
Yeah.
There are moments, and I've probably said this before, where you read something and you think, "Wow, okay, we got to talk about this." And I have to say that the New York Times recent article on "quote unquote" girl dinners is one of those articles that just fits so well in the retail therapy place.
It sure does.
I read the tweet promoting this column, and I thought, with just seeing the photo of the plate, which I think I have this exact plate at home, I thought to myself, I know exactly what this is, and I'm definitely a girl dinner connoisseur. It turns out that a girl dinner, this says, and I'm just going to read a couple paragraphs from the actual article here. It says, typical girl dinners may include some type of fruit, a block of cheddar, sliced salami, a sleeve of fancy crackers, and a dish of olives. Girl dinner is, quote, both chaotic and filling, as one TikTok commenter put it, requiring none of the forethought, cooking, or plating demanded by an actual meal. As another commenter observed, it's, quote, no preparation, just vibes. I mean, no prep, just vibes. There's a little bit of prep here. This is kind of like the photos that they're showing here are like, pickles, slices of cheese. It looks like a charcuterie board.
It's very charcuterie
mixed up with a crudité.
It's charcuterie board adjacent. Yeah.
It kind of looks like what I end up feeding my son sometimes for dinner when he just refuses to eat anything, and I just start chopping stuff up.
Yeah. And I mean, just it's very it's kid-like, right? Because especially just like the way that it's plated too in this particular photo.
Yeah,
that's how you always see kids' meals. It's just like you have a little stack of blueberries and like a few cubes of cheese and like 4 crackers, and that's like their dinner. The photo that they chose, I think, is pretty and somewhat representative. But like, the way they started off, kind of describing it here is that, quote, you grab a bag of popcorn, a glass of wine, some bread, some cheese, and a hunk of chocolate, and settle into the couch for a night of snacking and watching TV. Like it can be a little more, just kind of like hodgepodge thrown together, kind of whatever you have in the pantry. This is the one that they've shown here is on the more curated side of things. But it does really, like, what it makes me think of is like when you're at home and you do kind of maybe make yourself a little charcuterie board for 2, and that's enough. That's just a perfect, the bread, the cheese, the salumi or the cured meats, and a little bit of wine, maybe a few olives, and it's just like, it's kind of like that's all you needed. There's no need for the main course.
I used to do this way more often than I do now.
It's nice how, I mean, let me tell you what, I love any night that does not require me to cook.
Have you made good on your Italian boy summer, having the olives and the chips and
I have. I've done that a few times. I also had Sammy's make me a white Negroni this past week.
How did that go for you?
It went great.
Did they flinch when you requested the white Negroni?
They said that they couldn't do it exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't think they had sous.
Okay.
But that they could make something pretty much the same.
Okay.
And it was pretty much the same.
Okay.
And it was great.
That's good to know. As someone going there this Thursday.
Yeah.
Or if you're listening to this 3 days ago, I'm going to have to try that there, as that has been something that I've really enjoyed ordering.
If we start asking for it there, they might just put it on the menu.
Yeah, we might just they could call it the retail there.
They could. Maybe that, yeah.
We should get a drink somewhere. We need a signature cocktail somewhere in Austin.
We really do. Yeah.
I mean, this is somewhat adult lunchable. This is, for me, is like, I love the olive bar at just the grocery store. Mm-hmm. I like going by, and I think I definitely get this from my dad. Like, my dad loves having a little tub of like random pickled stuff or like olive stuff, whatever. And there's just always a little thing in our fridge that you can kind of pick at, snack at. And I end up doing this all the time. We always do this in the fall, though. This always ends up being a Saturday, lazy, rainy Saturday afternoon kind of thing, where we just end up taking a bunch of random crap and making essentially a charcuterie board out of it.
Yeah. I got a question for you. Speaking of the olive bar.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do little, Castle Vetrano olives.
Yeah.
As my olives, maybe something like a citrus or like a goat cheese stuffed.
Yeah.
But then I drop in like peppadews and cornichons and pickles to that same box.
Okay.
Do you split like your olives and your pickled stuff, or do you just all go same tub?
It depends. I mean, some things.
I've had to stop doing this, by the way, because Laura has requested that I stop.
Like, I won't mix. I'm pretty particular when it comes to my pickles.
Yeah.
And sometimes the pickles that they have at those olive bars are so good that you can't even risk tainting them.
You don't want to contaminate them.
Yeah. And so I won't mix like olives and pickles.
Okay. Yeah.
But sometimes I will just get the olives, and I want them for martinis, and I don't want any other flavor to be in there. But if it's one of those olives, like a Kalamata olive that has like the herbs and stuff all over it, I don't really worry about mixing that with other stuff because I'm like, well, it's all going to the same place anyway.
Yeah.
Who really cares? But when I've really had trouble though. I started doing blue cheese stuffed olives from there for martinis, but then they were all oily, and then it created this grossness, and so I had to retire from that.
Yeah.
But now I've realized I don't even like blue cheese olives with my martini anymore. Like I don't even want that, so I don't even have to go down that road.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you think restaurants are doing a blue cheese olive without getting all the film in there?
I think they just need to. I think some stuff it themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's whenever I see someone's come out and I can tell that it's been stuffed by the people behind the bar. That's when I'm like, okay, I will actually do one of these. But when you see like the giant olives come out that have been stuffed like by a machine somewhere, it just doesn't hit the same. And so I just don't think getting it from the actual olive bar is the move for that.
So this trend, back to the trend, the girl dinner, it's been named girl dinner. I think that we can safely say that it's also retail boy dinner.
Yeah, the retail boy dinner very much fits this.
We can get in on this as well, but just for fun, what do you think boy dinner would be?
Oh man, like lunch meat over the sink. I used to do this thing that I'd call protein taco. And this wasn't because I was trying to get more protein or anything. It was just pure laziness. But I mean, I would just make roll-ups with like lunch meat and Kraft singles and then like make a dipping sauce and just do that. It was sad and it was gross, but I enjoyed that time.
This is probably more bro dinner than boy dinner. But what it makes me think of also is like in my 20s, how I would pull a chicken breast out of the freezer. Out of a giant bag of them, and then an individual pack of like steamable vegetables.
Yeah.
And do that as like my healthy, easy dinner. And that's something I can proudly say I have not done in well over a decade.
I like my Trader Joe's.
That is definitely bro dinner.
My Trader Joe's microwavable rice packets that I can just make that and then put like another thing over it. It's just pitiful. And I think you told me that you do more most of the cooking. Like I've taken such a back seat now that like my dinners, I actually do try to do a nice. I do try to make something nice if I'm alone, but I can't remember the last time I had the opportunity to make a solo dinner at my place. It just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's always just me putting something together for the little man and then just eating his scraps afterwards.
Well, if you have an opportunity for a solo dinner, it's like you got to take opportunity to go get something that like, the significant other will never let you do or doesn't ever want to do.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Randy, I've seen you make some boy dinners. What you put something in a tortilla recently? Maybe that was a year ago. But what is the most boy dinner thing you've eaten recently?
The tortilla thing that you're thinking of is that was during the Austin Freeze, and it was banana, peanut butter, and honey. And
in a tortilla,
and it's delicious.
Honestly, I did that after you did that, and it was really good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll just say, boy dinner's just any leftovers that you have, and just lunch meat straight out of the bag.
Out of the bag. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe some shredded cheese straight to the mouth. I love doing the shredded cheese straight to the mouth, and then if any falls on the ground, I just call the dog over and just let her lick it off. I'm like, yep, this was an efficient bite.
just eating spoonfuls of peanut butter.
Yep.
And maybe a little cottage cheese.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Bring it full circle here.
I might could do a little dish of cottage cheese. I put some hot sauce on my cottage cheese the other day. Not your traditional hot sauce, but a hot sauce nonetheless. It was great. It was really good. Very happy about it.
I think it's gonna happen tonight. I think I'm a taste test tonight.
I'm gonna make you post from the Retail Therapy Instagram account too. We need a live reaction. Oh, well, before we move on today, let's hear from a new sponsor of ours and one that I'm actually very, very fond of. Our friends over at KiwiCo. KiwiCo believes that every kid is naturally creative and curious, and that hands-on experiences build creative confidence and problem-solving skills that can change the world. They deliver seriously fun learning for kids of all ages, and whether it's about science or sensory play, games or geography, every crate designed by their team of experts inspires excitement, curiosity, and moments of discovery. If there's one thing that I've really enjoyed in the Retail Therapy universe, it's buying stuff for my son. It's just become another place where I just love putting money into and doing stuff. I recently saw that they had a Play-Doh pasta making kit where you can just like literally show them the process of making pasta using Play-Doh. And I would love for my son to grow up with some kitchen skills because I don't have as much as I'd like.
How much Play-Doh you let your son eat?
I mean, enough.
Just a little.
Just in case.
Yeah. You gotta let him have a little taste.
Yeah. And so you can literally like wheel it through. Like I don't even know how to make real pasta, but maybe I just bought this more for myself so I can make it happen. But anytime you can see the little man doing stuff that adults are going to be doing, it's a mega cute scene. And why not? These guys know what they're doing. They're seriously fun learning. KiwiCo delivers seriously fun hands-on projects that inspire lifelong love for learning. Their projects spark creative confidence for ongoing tinkering and experimentation. And sure, you can buy a robot, but it's way more fun to build your own. And the KiwiCo crates are fun and stress-free so you can enjoy quality time tackling projects together. And these are tested and approved by kids. So you don't have to worry about them just hating it out of the box and never touching it. It's hard to find creative ways to keep kids in your life busy, challenged, and off their screens. No crate from KiwiCo's Innovation Factory leaves without approval from their toughest critics, kids. Redefine learning with play. Explore hands-on projects that build creative confidence with KiwiCo. Get 50% off of your first month plus free shipping on any crate line at kiwico.com/scaries. That's 50% off your first month at kiwico.com/scaries. This week in Brands Acting Weird, we've got two stories to talk about here. Where would you like to start? Would you like to start with an Outdoor Voices adjacent story, Barrett? Or would you like to start?
Let's start with my girl, Ty.
Okay. Good friend of the pod, noted attendee of our Nordstrom event, the Real Cat Pat, has posted last week. She posted something that I saw it when it was probably like 4 hours after she had posted the original tweet. It didn't have much action on it. And I thought to myself, I'm kind of surprised this tweet's not performing better. Fast forward to 24 hours later, certified viral. And it said, LOL, Ty Haney publicly hating on the brand she created is something. And this was accompanied by 4 screenshots of 4 Outdoor Voices posts on Instagram where the former founder and CEO is being quite critical of what's going on in said photos. Barrett, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, who can forget the last time that Ty Haney made social media waves when she went late night on the same platform on Instagram and started tearing into Bandier for stealing her designs. This was in the OV heyday, so probably 7-8 years ago now, probably 2015, 16, somewhere in that range. So she's certainly not afraid to jump into the mix and just start talking trash, start talking smack online. Look, it's always, I think once you become a public persona, the optics of this type of thing are they're never going to play out in your favor. So
no,
I don't actually like in a vacuum, I don't have a problem with this actually, but it's just not something that I like. You're just kind of being indulgent, I think, a little bit. And as a big time CEO that spent a lot of time in the public sphere, if you will, you're just kind of expected to like have a little bit more restraint than this.
Yeah, that's a surprising thing to me. The lack of restraint, the lack of just being able to tune out what's going on and understand that you no longer have control over it. That's kind of what surprises me. But like I've obviously made a living off of like building a brand, and I've done that. I've worked on building numerous brands in my life. And I understand the protective nature that one has over that kind of thing. But I also think that, I've never built anything of the size of Outdoor Voices. What she built there, you can't really tear down.
Sorry, say that again. What was the first thing? But before you said she couldn't tear it down?
Just like what she built with Outdoor Voices. Like, I mean, she built something huge with in terms of just like the shift in athleisure, even though they would hate even mentioning the word athleisure, just in the way that it was marketed, the way that they look, everything. I think she did something really impressive. But like, you just have to be able to have a clean breakup here. Like you can't be the ex commenting on the photos and expect people to not kind of think that that's a bad look for you.
Yeah. And then look,
but it's her baby. It's her baby. I do get it. Like I understand.
Yes. Yeah. That's, I think the big thing is that she was essentially ousted with, against her will, once, and that's a risk of taking on massive amounts of venture capital, is that you lose your majority stake and then the board can dump you basically.
Sounds kind of like a great situation in some cases.
In some cases, yeah, absolutely.
Get rid of me.
The other thing is, while I totally agree with you that Outdoor Voices was revolutionary and even potentially paradigm shifting, this brand makes no sense to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the other piece of maybe why I didn't have quite as strong or averse a reaction to this, is because for the most part, I agree with her. Like, the last time I shopped or bought Outdoor Voices was probably 5 years ago now.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I actually bought a pair of shorts from there recently, but it was one of those things where I was in the store, I touched them, I was like, oh, I actually kind of like these. Yeah. But it was more of like, I need some black workout shorts, not, oh, I'm in love with these, I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
It was just, it was kind of a sporadic purchase instead.
But they've, we talked last year, I think, about how they've just kind of been absolutely railroaded by brands like Aloe.
Yeah.
Like their shtick without Ty Haney is like the voice in the face of it. It kind of has no meaning, essentially.
Yeah, she was a good face of the brand, because her persona in what she put out online was very like almost gentle, likable, but like intentional, targeted. She understood what she was doing. She had a vision and she saw it through, I think, as far as she possibly could have.
Yeah.
I mean, I will never forget, and I'm sure she's tired of hearing people on podcasts talk about this, but I will never forget when the New York Times article came out in 2020, when it said in 2018, the company's handful of stores were spending roughly $22,000 on Maison Louis Marie No. 4 candles, $45,000 on fresh flowers, and $36,000 on Topo Chico bottled water, according to an internal memo from February 2019. Yeah. Aspirational stuff there.
Hell yeah.
That is panic room shit on such another level that I can't even fathom.
I mean, in post-inflation, those numbers don't even sound all that bad.
No, like now that I think about like how long they've been open here and stuff, I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Like they could actually probably justify some of those costs.
They were opening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had a lot of stores popping up in a lot of random cities.
Yeah, speaking of this, and speaking of Threads, which we mentioned up top, Ty Haney's been very active on Threads as well. And in the wake of all this, she actually posted something on Threads, which it looks like, I just went to look for it, and I can't even remember what it said, and it looks like it's been deleted. But she was essentially kind of defending the whole thing and being pretty unapologetic for it.
Yeah.
And it made me feel a little bit saltier about the whole thing than just the fact that she was kind of like making these remarks in the comments section in the first place. So,
she needs to mute Outdoor Voices. She needs to get that off of her timeline. She needs to not, she doesn't strike me as someone who over consumes alcohol, but she needs to not have one glass of wine and start going on this page, because that ends poorly.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's alcohol, but it might be some combination of CBD and getting joggy or something in that nootropic psychedelic realm. I don't know. Who's to say?
Yeah.
But yeah, it reminds me of the olive oil guy, and it reminds me of the next tweet that we're going to talk about. And it's just always like, it's just always better if you didn't. That's the thing. Like, I get it. You're a lot of what you're saying is valid. You might even be in the right, but like, it's gonna do more good for you to continuously take the high road when it's all said and done.
Let's just see one day. Let's say that like something just really fortuitous happens. Sunday Scaries gets bought for so much money that I can't even fathom turning it down.
Mm-hmm. I
have to give my baby away.
Yeah.
And they start posting dumb shit on the Instagram page. Like I would go full Ty Haney on this. It would be impossible for me to take myself out of that. Like I've run numerous Instagram accounts in the past, and like even seeing when they post dumb stuff now, I'm like, whatever. It's not I'm not the one running it. I don't care. Like when it's your baby,
that's
something
a great
you
way
saw
to frame
from it's just got to be so much more difficult to holster that
when you build something and it becomes ultra successful, and then it's taken from you, whether especially through force, not through your own choice, and then they basically like do something that you think is butchering it.
Mm-hmm.
That is super hard to not say anything.
Yeah. Well, let's talk the JJJJound tweet that I think I sent it to you, and all I wanted was your take on this because I know you have several thoughts on JJJJound in general.
Yeah.
But this is a very interesting tweet to put out from your official account, non-verified. So I was a little worried that it wasn't like the actual thing until we did it. But JJJJound tweeted out, in your opinion, which brands took inspiration from the old JJJJ image blog to build their aesthetic and point of view? So they're essentially saying like, who took our shit, ran with it, and who should we make fun of right now? I don't know what they're doing with this information that they're accruing, but I would love to know. I would love to know the conversations they're having behind closed doors.
For a brand who literally does not do anything novel or new, especially when they collaborate or make releases, like, bro, your navy pants are a pair of elevated Dickies.
Like, honestly,
you took a Solomon and you made it all white with a hint of blue.
The most novel thing they might have ever done was the image board they're referencing.
That's the only novel thing that they did. So I can't. And even that was just pulled from like, you turned a Tumblr into a successful Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Like that and people look, I
get it. Like I get why people like their point of view and I get why people like what they do. It is pleasing and it's like it's very in the realm of Sunday Scaries. Like I definitely have gotten inspiration from them like in a way that I can't really explain. But like I've followed them for a long time. I don't take stuff from their page. I don't do anything with it. But like it's just funny to like.
Are you basically saying that Sunday Scary should have been listed in this in the call outs?
Trust me, I would love to not be listed anywhere. But like, it's one of those things where I was like, man, like I just feel like it's kind of been done. Like their whole aesthetic and the idea behind the brand has kind of been done so many times over at this point that like you kind of lose ownership now that it's in the public domain. But a lot of the brands, do you mind if I read a few of the brands that have been called out?
Sure.
Hidden, Aimé Leon Dore, Randy. Sporty and Rich was the most called out brand by far. Museum of Peace and Quiet was also very called out. More Sporty and Rich. Let me see. Like, but I mean, like, they're just asking for the haters. They're just like, give it to me.
Okay, so unfortunately, he mentions took inspiration from the old JJJJ image blog.
Yes,
which essentially doesn't exist anymore.
I guess not. I think I followed it on Tumblr. I think it was just a Tumblr at that point.
And I personally never look. I'll be the first to admit it. I just never got it.
Yeah,
but maybe you can help. Like, what was it that they were doing that was unique? What is he talking about in this tweet? What does he think that he created essentially that is being ripped by?
This feels like a job interview. Where I'm being asked a question that I didn't prepare for, but I feel like I'm fit to answer this question, but I'm going to kick myself if I ever listen to the answer after. I feel like all the photos were extremely aesthetic photos. I think they had kind of like the very earth tones to them. It could be a Land Rover in England, but it was all these photos that were doing almost non-aesthetic things. There was something off about it that was aesthetically pleasing, but also kind of made you uncomfortable. And it just kind of created this whole subculture of like, kind of, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's like bloatcore mixed with like clean girl mixed with like classic Ralph Lauren. Like, I don't know. It's just this like very kind of like almost yuppie feeling thing, but not like, I'm doing a horrible job of this. But it's just like, I don't really know. I don't like, for them to say that all these brands like shaped their point of view from this, or to at least, I guess they're not saying it. They're asking other people to say it for them, but they know what they're talking about.
How about this? Would you say that JJJJound was the originator or at least a founding father of the Instagram mood board aesthetic?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say in a way. I don't know if it was like the Instagram side of things, but like, yeah, I actually would. And like, they would do New Yorker cartoons before people would, or like they'd maybe even change the captions on it, or
that's one thing that I remember. Is the New Yorker cartoons.
Yeah.
But it like some of these ones that are getting mentioned, like Hidden, and off of that comes to mind is like Garden and Seeds, and then or even like something like what are some other ones, like Auschwitz comes to mind. that do a lot of the even Cake Not Crumbs a little bit. I know Ruiz really strives to pull stuff that isn't being used all over Instagram.
And I want to give credit to him because I think he does such a good job of not posting stuff that you see reposted on Tumblr a million different times. Like he has a really good eye.
But that you know how they like it'll just be like a photo, like somebody took a great personal photo of a hot pair of shoes and they post that. And then it'll be like, or like, and then it's like an archive post of like a vintage thing from the 80s with a guy wearing like a cool, like, vintage trucker hat. And then it's like the Patagonia baby toss ad and the next one. And it's like, it's this mix of just like quote unquote things that are cool. That is the Instagram mood board vibe that we've all come to know. Like, was JJJJound's different than that? Was it the beginning of that?
I think it was the beginning of that. Okay. I think it was the beginning of that. Like, I think that they were like, I can guarantee that Patagonia photo that you just said of throwing the baby, I guarantee the first time I saw that was on JJJJound. Okay. Like, it just definitely was. I do think they were early on that, but to like act like some of these brands or some of these pages were probably started so far after that, like, yeah, I guess they could be derivative of like the original JJJJound thing. But like, I feel like it's been so long that you kind of just can't like attribute yourself to being the direct inspiration for some of these things. I don't know, but anytime that Sporty and Rich gets dunked on, it's always fun to see.
That's totally, I am totally fair. Like, I'm okay with that. Yes.
I'm much faster to dunk on Sporty and Rich than I am to dunk on, Outdoor Voices and Ty Haney. I would much rather spend my time hating and dunking on Sporty and Rich and Emily Oberg.
Yes.
That's just
1,000,000%.
Yeah. That's just me. I was going through old screenshots the other day trying to find something to post on Threads, actually, and I stumbled across the Sporty and Rich logo that I had screenshot, and then right next to it was the New York Health and Racket Club logo. That was literally the exact same logo. And while I'm not opposed to, paying tribute to certain things, like literally built the entire brand with a logo that was like identical to a logo of an actual business in New York City that does what you pretend to do, which is be a health and fitness club. Bizarre behavior.
Yeah.
It's too close.
Last thing I'll say about the JJJJound thing, it's just a weird way to like pat yourself on the back. This tweet.
Yeah.
Because it was basically like I think I would have rathered, much in the way that like Ty Haney was just very direct with her hate, right? Hate. I wish like he should have just come out and been like, I think that the following brands swagger jacked us to build their own hype. Like just say what you think rather than being like, I'm kind of pissed that everybody kind of like, built their look and aesthetic off our backs. But I'm too afraid to call them out by name, so I'll let all of our followers do it.
Yeah.
It's just petty. It's just weird.
From a pure PR standpoint, and maybe we shouldn't care about PR standpoints that much when it comes to brands like this, but like I wouldn't put this out from the main account under any circumstances. And if I saw someone do it, I'd be like, delete this.
Yeah.
Like, what you're making us look like a little pompous, a little high and mighty. Like, if you want to put that out, if a founder of the company wants to put that out from their own feed, like I would not think it was nearly as weird as the behavior of putting it out from your official account where you actually sell products from. Because it's just like, what? I don't know. It's got a decent amount of action, but I just thought it was a very weird way for a brand in the retail therapy space to kind of operate online. It's just I've never seen it before.
Yep.
But credit where credit's due. I do think that they did have a lot of a hand in starting some of the aesthetic that came to that. But I just think it's been so long that this stuff is all just in the public eye at this point. You can't really say that you did something that is still directly affecting brands today when it started like over 10 years ago. I mean, Scary started like 10 years ago, and I have no clue where JJJJound, like when it was started, I guess. I could probably look it up pretty easily. But shall we do some wish list?
When JJJJound started?
Yeah. Do you know when it started?
I don't, but I want to say 2013-ish. It feels like it's been about 10 years, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I think it's time, though. I think it's time for wish list, Barrett.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to let you start today.
I'm doing something unoriginal today. I want to hone in my wish list. I'm starting to realize that I'm putting random shit on my wish list that I don't know if like I really want it or I just want it in the moment. So I'm trying to be a little more intentional. Trying to put some stuff on there that is stuff that I will actually like wear and love and make sure I actually buy. And today I'm going to get the long sleeve version of a shirt that I'm currently wearing, which is the heavyweight pigment dyed crew shirts from Stussy, which I have fallen in love with. I'm currently wearing a short sleeve version and I really like it, but I need a long sleeve version for a summer night up in northern Michigan, for maybe some fall nights later this year in Austin, Texas. But I love a long sleeve tee. I like a thick long sleeve tee. And these Stussy tees have treated me so well over the last few months that I think I'm going to have to get a few different colors of the heavyweight pigment dyed long sleeve crew.
All I can say is groundbreaking.
It's wild stuff over here.
This is big for you.
Yep, this is just crazy.
Would you actually go so far as to say that this is an imminent cop?
I would say, I don't know. Here's my concern. These have been listed on their website for so long that I'm simply just worried that they're going to take them off soon. Stussy just gives me the vibe of a company that they will just take this off at some point, and I'm going to be like, motherfucker, I should have done this.
Yeah.
And luckily, they don't have too many colors that I'm after, so I think I will probably make a cop in the next couple weeks or so.
Yeah.
Maybe even by the time this episode is aired, I get real wild.
Okay. Before I give you mine, I will interject to say that perhaps I need to do a little bit of some learning myself, and maybe I need to brush up on my history, because JJJJound, the site of random images centered against a white background, was actually founded in 2006.
Really?
So maybe this is a little more alpha and omega than I totally realized.
Could have been, but even so, 13 years later, you got to kind of let bygones be bygones. 17 years later.
Yeah. Yeah. I
still think you can't be just calling out brands like that.
So I don't know. Maybe the tweet, because it feels weird to us, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't supposed to be weird. Maybe it was just like, looking back nearly 20 years since I started this shit. What did I spawn? Like, what other great brands
doesn't feel like that,
born out of that? But it doesn't quite feel like that.
Doesn't totally feel like that.
Yeah. It feels more like Ralph Lauren, like, getting on Threads and just being like, hey, what brands out there based out of New York that have a lot of hype around them and create big lines outside of their stores and also have a cafe very similar to Ralph's? What brands out there maybe like, kind of modeled their entire being off of Ralph Lauren? Yeah,
they've got this coastal feel, but also some streetwear edge to it that pushes the envelope. Do you guys know any brands like that might do that?
All right. I actually don't have a wish list ad today. But I'm going to. I'm submitting a request from the listeners and the followers out there. Several weeks back, I put a pair of Todd Snyder shorts on the list.
Very familiar.
The Seersucker Weekenders.
Very familiar.
I still like those. But since I saw your 5 inches and I looked at the 7 inches, I've decided that neither is right for me.
Barrett, I'm not going to fault you for that decision.
And that I need a 6-inch pair of shorts, and I'm kind of coming up blank. I recently got a pair of, to go back to previous wish list ads, I got a great pair of the Doc shorts in like a blue on blue kind of vertical seersucker print that I really like. But when I tried on the solid 6-inch Doc shorts from J. Crew, they felt too daddish. They were too daddish.
The shorts that I have from J. Crew are very, very daddish.
And then last summer I was really big on the Buck Mason 6-inch short, which I also still really like, but it has like a very techie feel to it. It's like almost can double as a swimsuit. And so when I'm trying to just be like a basic bitch on the weekends and like throw on a camp collar and like maybe a pair of loafers or some low cut sneakers to go for a drink or to dinner or whatever, I'm kind of coming up short on just like my go-to pair of shorts right now. And so I need some input. I'm calling for any and all input. So please DM me your best options, and I will. I
was trying to find a pair of shorts for you that have been marketed on Instagram a million times. Saturdays NYC has been promoting some very similar looking seersucker shorts to me like crazy, but I couldn't find them on.
So my favorite pair of shorts right now that fits this mold is a pair of shorts from Saturdays that are probably 3 years old now, and they don't make that cut anymore. It's called the Richie short.
Mm-hmm.
And they're black, so they don't go with every top, especially if you get if you go somewhere a little bit more preppy or a little bit more coastal, the black doesn't always work. But I wish I just had that short in like 4 colors.
Yeah,
because it's such a when we were talking about shorts the other week, like it is that perfect cut of where it's not like overly blousy, but it also doesn't do like the tailoring, like hugging your leg thing where you're like, I don't know, this is.
Do you have any overly blousy shorts?
It's not breezy enough.
Do you have any voluminously large shorts right now?
No.
The Bodie shorts that I got with my Nordstrom bag, are my most voluminous shorts.
I've tried on the Bodie shorts, and I feel like I'm in between sizes on them.
I think that's just how they fit.
But I think that's just how they fit.
I think that's just how they fit. Because if I sized up, they'd be outrageously big on me.
Yeah.
If I sized down, there's no way that I could fit in the waist.
The rise is going to be all wrong.
Yeah,
the
it would
waist
be totally
is gonna
weird.
Be super tight.
I'm definitely the correct size for what I have, but like I have to have something that is equally voluminous up top in order to justify how they look down below.
You cannot pull off the women out there. They can do the small top, giant bottoms.
Yeah, I can't do muscle tees. Muscle tees.
It doesn't work the same way on men. But I feel you have like. You've got more muscular legs that I feel like work for the baggy Bodie shorts, and I put them on, and I'm like, look at my toothpicks.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about my legs getting dwarfed by the shorts because I've got some stout dad legs.
I do still want a pair though. Maybe I just need to embrace the blouse.
They have a nice pair that they just posted on their Instagram. I think either today or yesterday, where I was like, ooh. I like that, but now all I'm surprised we didn't talk about the Bodie column with our man Gian up in the on the cover of New Yorker Mag.
Was it just in the digest last Sunday, or did you talk about it on the pod?
No, I didn't talk about it. I just did it in the Sunday.
Yeah,
digest.
Shockingly, I actually haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
I thought that the headline was perfect though. Basically, like and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it pulled up, but it essentially was like. For a brand that based itself on like one of a kind, unique, dead stock quilts and fabrics and all that type of stuff, like how big can they get and still remain cool? And it's a fantastic question, and one that I don't totally have the answer to.
Their stock is still going up.
I think
among people. Yes. So I mean, I'm interested. I'm not excited to see when it even flattens out or anything, but I'm going to be interested to see what leads to that.
Yeah, we'll keep tabs on it.
We will. Any closing thoughts today, Barrett?
I don't think so. I think that puts a bow on another wonderful episode of Retail Therapy.
Very excited to see how your cottage cheese journey goes, but until then, we will.
Yeah, the truth is, by the time you're listening to this, I probably will have already posted some more cottage cheese content.
Well, you need to head over to Threads
as
soon as possible. Yeah. Get over to Threads right now and follow the whole squad. We're threading it up. Threads might be the perfect name for a retail therapy adjacent social network. We might need to really lean into this thread game.
That's a great point.
All right. We'll see you guys later.